Hi, Trip. I've been following your advice on cold approaching, and it has really transformed my confidence and ability to meet new women. I've also purchased a number of your programs. Thank you for your quality advice. He goes on to say, I had a quick query. What is your take on getting the girl to organize the second date? I would propose it in a fun way, e.g., let's see who's more fun. That way you are seeing if they are engaged and willing to put in effort. Also, you get to see how their mind works and what they class as a fun date. My only concern is it may put off girls as it is too soon, i.e. maybe it takes a few dates to build attraction where the man is taking charge and putting the burden on them, so it might be too much. But then again, if they are interested, they would do it. It seems like a good filter between high versus low interest girls. Your insight would be much appreciated. Thanks again, Somil Lamba. Somil, what a great question. I love it. A very unique question. We haven't talked about this too much, although of course you're going to hear some of the normal principles that come out here. Okay. So basically, you're asking the question, should we get the woman to try to organize a second date? What is the benefit of getting the woman to organize the second date? Is this something that should be done? Is this a way to be able to tell between a high interest and low interest girl? Okay, so here's my quick answer. So my quick answer is you don't want to do this. You don't want to put them in the position, unless they are proactive at doing it, but you don't want to put them in the position of getting them to set up the second date, okay? Remember that the courting process, the process of building attraction, is all done through you being a guy who is being dominant, you as a guy being assertive. These are things that women are attracted to. This helps you actually move things forward, but at the same time build attraction, because that is what the man does. Not because it's a societal thing. I mean, it is, but beyond that, beyond it being a societal thing, it's more important that you're doing it because this is masculine behavior. This is what women find attractive when men take the lead. So this is called leading. Okay, dominance, aka leading. D, dominance, is part of my TED formula. So this is a question about dominance, about you being someone who's leading. They are attracted to that. So you never want to put them in that position. Now, I'll say this much. Here's a little footnote to this, is that if you're dating a girl and you guys have been going on dates, when you're like really dating her, like practically in a relationship, like 10, 15 dates, yes, it would be nice if she would set up the date. In fact, I would be a little wary if she didn't even try to set up one date by the time you're on 10 to 15 to 20 dates. Okay, but at the same time, you're the one who's leading. So if you're trying to know if she's low interest or high interest, you don't need to do this as a test. You don't need the will she set up the second date as a test. Instead, all you have to do is just set up the date, because if she shows up, listen, this is very important here, because guys, I think you make it more complicated than you have to. If she shows up on that date, she's interested. It takes a lot for a woman to say, I'm going to get ready, put on makeup, look my best, take time out of my life to go meet this guy for a second time. This is enough interest. Her being there and showing up. Now, I want to also dig into that a little bit. I always say that it's not just enough for her to show up on the date. If you are someone who is looking for sex, okay, so barring anyone who's religious, and I know there's people who listen to this podcast who are, if you're someone who's looking to have sex and you're okay with sex before marriage, then you want to be attempting sex or initiating sex. And if she's not reciprocating to your initiation of sex, well, then you're either in the friend zone, and these have never been dates, or maybe she's not on the timeline as you are. I tell guys in my coaching program too, I tell them this. I say, when you're dating a woman and she's waiting too long to have sex, but you want to have sex with her, maybe this isn't a match. Guys will kind of just like wait around. Well, maybe that's not the kind of relationship you want. Maybe you're not looking for a girlfriend right now, or maybe you want someone who's going to be at your level sexually. So by the 7th or 8th date, she's still not interested in having sex with you. That's pretty far down the line. You don't have to continue seeing her. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Some people might think that that's very superficial. Like, oh, all you care about is sex. Well, no. you don't. Clearly you don't. You've been on 7 or 8 dates with her, but you're interested in a sexual relationship, and that's what dating is. It's a sexual relationship. If you want a girlfriend, you can go and have a girlfriend and hang out and not have sex with her. That's fine. But when you're building attraction and building a sexual connection with someone, it's not just about dates, but having sex. Again, it's up to you, but be honest with yourself. It's up to you. If you're okay with having it be up to 10 dates without having sex, by all means. Again, that's your call. But if you're doing that as a way to just try to eventually get her to be with you, well, then you're lying to yourself. Now, I think there's a little bit of a balance there, right? Like, okay, if she doesn't sleep with you on the first or second date, like, whatever. But hey, then again, I'll go back on that too. Maybe you're a guy who's like, no, I want to have sex with people who are interested fast. So if they're not interested in the first date, then I want to be done with them. Okay, that is totally up to you. You could do that. So I know, and of course, right, we're going to ask for consent and we're not going to have sex without the woman's permission. All I'm saying is if you are and her are not a match to be at the same pace as that, then you don't have to be hanging out with them anymore. She doesn't have to be the only one dictating this. Of course, again, you're not going to pressure her or do anything inappropriate or illegal, but you can also not see her anymore, and that's totally okay too. You don't need to test high or low interest by seeing if she'll set up the second date. Just set up the second date and be good with it.